In Venezuela, the 11th Extraordinary Summit of the Bolivarian Alliance for the People of our Americas Trade Agreement of the Peoples of the Americas ended on Monday with a joint declaration of all its members. The meeting was attended by the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Dominican Republic, St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, St. Lucia, as well as the President of Bolivia, Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. During the summit, President Nicolás Maduro thanked the representatives of the member states in the preparatory meeting of the bloc's Council of Social Movements. The ALBA-TCP's final joint declaration expressed its support to the Venezuelan government and rejects the attacks carried out by the far right against the Venezuelan states. Through a communique, the regional bloc strongly condemned any coup d'etat or attempt coup d'etat as they constitute a violent, illegal, and unconstitutional way that threatens democracy, peace, and life itself, as well as the destabilizing plans and actions promoted by the foreign factors, with attempts to disregard the will of the peoples of Latin America and the Caribbean expressed democratically and legitimately at the ballot box. The document also denounced the disregard of the official results of the electoral process by violent and fascism sectors of the Venezuelan opposition that has openly requested interventionism and more sanctions for the country at the expense of the Venezuelan people, and which had already shown signs of its coup intentions by not signing the agreement for the respect of the electoral results promoted by the Venezuelan governing body, the National Electoral Council. The regional bloc also affirms once again that Latin American Caribbean is a zone of peace and demand the strict compliance with the obligation not to intervene directly or indirectly in the internal affairs of any other state and to fully respect their inalienable right of every state to choose its political, economic, social, and cultural system as an essential request to guarantee peaceful coexistence among nations, peace and stability in our regions. The text reiterated member states' determination to gather to defend today more than ever the broader Venezuelan people from the tentacles of fascism and raise their voices to reject the interference, manipulation, and imperialism, colonialism, and coup intentions to seize their legitimate rights and resources, and which have caused so much harm to our people, and ends by sentencing that defending Venezuela is to defend the dream of a union and brotherhood of our heroes and peoples. During the one-day meeting, several members of the regional bloc took the floor to express their support to Venezuela's elections results and their rejection to any interference in the nation's internal affairs. In his speech, the Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro warned about a powerful outbreak of fascism not only in Latin America but also in Europe and the U.S.
Partners, first prime ministers, presidents, it is very clear that there is an emergence, a resumption of fascism, which some call neo-fascism, and it is right. Neo-fascism, it's okay, but undoubtedly they have come here with the force, with the strength, with the force of hate, of recolonization and delivery of our countries to the United States of America. There is no doubt about it. Today, in Europe, in Latin America, in the United States of America, there is an outbreak, a powerful outbreak of fascism. It is a reality.
During his speech at the ALBA-TCP summit, Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega accused European powers of institutionalizing fascism to dominate the world. Let's take a listen.
Fascism became institutionalized because the European powers, always fighting among themselves, became the masters of the planet, the masters of the African, Asian, and American continents.
For his part, Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel condemned the Cuban interference against Venezuela and praised the efforts of the Venezuelan people to overcome the sanctions and blockade imposed by the United States government.
It is not the first time that the U.S. imperialism and the regional oligarchies showed rejection and contempt of the will of our peoples. It's not the first time that they try to defeat political processes against their interests, because they favor the people, and so it is not possible to remain quiet ahead of these oligarchies and the imperialism and the assaults in communications against Venezuela. Today against Venezuela and tomorrow against any of our countries.
On the other hand, Bolivian President Luis Arce expressed his total support and recognition to the Venezuelan Supreme Court's ruling on the results of the electoral process in the nation.
We received recently the decision made by the Venezuelan High Tribunal, which is validating the result of the polls. Bolivia welcomed this decision. We ratified the will of the majority of the people and the strength of the Venezuelan institutions.
The Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, took the floor on behalf of the Black Six East Caribbean nations and reiterated the group's full satisfaction with the result of the elections and reiterated their support to President Nicolás Maduro.
To reiterate our full satisfaction on all the processes which delivered the result in the re-election of Nicolás Maduro as the constitutionally elected president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Also in Venezuela, the Electoral Commission of the Communes gave an update account of the development of the second popular consultation, affirming that the democratic exercise was successfully developed. From the office of the Ministry of Popular Powers for the Communes, the Electoral Commission declared that the voting process in this second popular consultation was successful, achieving the activation of 100% of the polling stations nationwide.